Arrakis. Dune. Wasteland of the Empire. And the most valuable planet in the universe. Because it is here, and only here, where spice is found. The spice. Without it, there is no commerce in the Empire. There is no civilization. Arrakis. Dune. Home of the spice. Greatest treasure in the universe. And he who controls it controls our destiny.
This move to Arrakis comes at a delicate moment for House Atreides. A test of your father's loyalty to the Emperor.
You must remember, Paul, our society is a tangled web of competing forces. Our civilization rests upon a political tripod, the most unstable of structures. A deceptive balance of power exists between the Emperor, the Congress of Royal Houses, and the supposedly impartial Spacing Guild with its invulnerable monopoly on interstellar transport. Complicated by a feudal trading culture that turns its...
Dr. Yui would be disappointed.
Then he'd know how I feel.
Attention, departure from Caladan airspace 01000.
It's never easy, leaving one's home, Paul. Think of this as a new adventure, the adventure of a lifetime.
You call this an adventure? Leaving our home for some dry speck of dust in the middle of nowhere?
You're a duke's son. You have duties, responsibilities.
How could I ever forget? Every day I have to eat responsibility for breakfast and duty for dinner.
Sarcasm doesn't become you.
I just want to see my father.
So do I.
Attention, departure from Caladan airspace 01000. All Atreides personnel, please prepare for departure.
The Reverend Mother has arrived. She wants to see you before we depart for Arrakis.
Why are you afraid of her, Mother? The pitch of your voice gives you away.
Cargo manipulators, please secure freight and log.
She was my teacher at the Bene Gesserit school. Now she's the Emperor's truthsayer.
You haven't answered my question.
I've given you more Bene Gesserit training than boys ever get. She wants to see what kind of student you've been.
You have given him your face, Jessica. But the father has given him his eyes.
And his courage.
We shall see. Come here, boy. Let me have a better look at you. If you know what's good for you, you'll do as I say.
I'll be the judge of what's good for me.
Your mother has taught you many things, I see. She tells me you dream.
Your Reverence. If I could...
You're dismissed, Jessica.
Since when is it permitted to treat the Lady Jessica as a common servant?
She was a common servant. My servant. And a good one, too. Until she was 16. And your father took her. Now, I would like to hear about your dreams.
They're just dreams.
About what?
Men dying.
Which man?
I don't know.
You're lying. What else?
Sometimes I see strange people worshipping water and singing a strange name. My name, I think. And then wars. Terrible wars. Millions dying.
Jihad.
Sometimes there's a girl. A beautiful girl. But she frightens me. Her eyes are strange.
And do you know this girl?
No.
What do you think they mean, these dreams of yours? Why don't you tell me?
Do you know what this is? It is a test, young Atreides.
Test for what?
Put your hand inside and we'll see.
What's in it?
Hey. I hold the concha bar at your throat, young Atreides. Keep your hand in the box and live. Remove it and die.
Must not fear. Fear is my killer.
That's right, boy. Pray.
I will face my fear. I will let it pass through me. When the fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain.
No woman, child, ever withstood that much pain. You're a gifted boy, young Atreides. But you have much to learn. He survived.
You should have warned me.
She was forbidden.
I'm sorry, Paul. Paul.
You were supposed to have a daughter. You have hopelessly complicated matters. An Atreides' daughter could have been wed to the Harkonnen heir. The feud between the houses could have been ended.
My Duke wanted a son.
Oh, you arrogant girl. Putting his desires above our interests. How dare you turn your back on the centuries of our breeding programs?
I'll pay for my mistakes.
And your son will pay with you. We'll do what we can. He may be worth saving, but for the father, nothing.
Good thing you don't play your balisette as badly as you fight, Gertie. It's too bad Duncan isn't here. Then I could get a real workout. Damn it! Oh, Gertie, man. Never submit to anger. Fast on defense, slow on attack. You forgot your first principle, Gurney.
Not likely. Look down, lad. Perhaps
you like to sing soprano next time I play? Guess I'm just not in the mood today. Not in the mood?
Mood is a thing for cattle and women, young pup. Mood is not for fighting. Even with the weird ways your mother teaches you.
It's that old Bene Gesserit witch. Something she said. Or did. The navigator is arriving.
Spacing Guild Shuttle N117 arriving Central Transport Pods. This zone is now restricted.
We'll be on our way to Arrakis soon.
It is said that they depend on the spice. That without it, they can't navigate.
It is said.
They used to be human, didn't they?
Attention all Atreides personnel.
Till the spice changed them.
Please prepare for departure.
I don't think anyone knows for sure.
I've never seen one.
No one has. It's forbidden, Paul. So don't endanger our shipping privileges trying.
All non-guild personnel, please secure quarters. All non-guild personnel, please secure
Will
quarters.
Arrakis be as bad as they say, Toofer?
The storms, perhaps. They can eat the flesh of your bones as you stand. The only thing that doesn't fear an Arrakis storm is the giant worm.
It's not worms I worry about.
Your father is a formidable man, Paul. Even the Emperor fears him. I'd sooner cast my fate with him than trust anything some Bene Gesserit hag said.
Why do you hate them? The Bene Gesserits?
I don't hate them. I don't trust them. I am a mentat. I trust logic and statistics, not mysticism and prophecy.
Attention, all Atreides personnel. Restriction to quarters now in effect. Repeat, restriction to quarters now in effect. Please prepare for departure. Spacing Guild Navigator docking Central Transport Pod. This zone is now restricted. Repeat, Spacing Guild Navigator docking Central Transport Pod. This zone is now restricted.
And so it begins. The trap is set, the prey approaches. A glorious winter is about to descend on House Atreides and all its heirs. The centuries of humiliation visited upon my family will finally be avenged.
But Arrakis was mine!
Shut up, Raban.
I did what you said, Uncle. I made the people cower. I crushed that vile planet.
You said squeeze, brother, not crush.
Ravan aspires to rule House Harkonnen one day, Fade, and yet he can't even rule himself. Explain our plan, Mentat.
The plan is elegant and vicious, dear Baron.
Of course it is. I designed it.
In order for the Empire to survive, the spice must flow. But the production has become inconsistent. In his wisdom, the Emperor decided only one man is honest enough and loyal enough to be trusted with restoring the spice production adequately. Duke Leto Atreides?
Temporarily interrupting 80 years of Harkonnen rule and all the profits that go with it. I said temporarily, you moron.
It doesn't take long for Duke Leto to believe he has Arrakis firmly under control. And then, at the moment of his greatest confidence,
the traitor strikes.
A traitor?
Who? That remains my little secret for now.
What about the other great houses? They're sure to protest.
Perverting common wisdom, nephew, is the mark of all great conspiracies. You see, nephews, a popular man arouses jealousy, and Duke Leto is a very popular man. The other great houses will be glad to get rid of him, even though they would never admit it. The spice will flow. The Emperor will be pleased, and House Harkonnen will be more powerful than ever. Alone and vulnerable at the edge of the universe, valiant Duke Leto will finally come face to face with fear. When I'm through, he won't know whom to trust, not even that Bene Gesserit witch he sleeps with. They'll all be turning on one another like rats in a flood. By the time the traitor is fully revealed, the fate of our Atreides will already be sealed.
My son always says you have a feline grace, Duncan.
I didn't want to startle you, my lord.
Latest immigration reports.
They fear our regime will be as bad as the Harkonnens.
We're losing too many. Spice hunters, drivers, weather scanners, Dune men will need.
Should I persuade some to stay?
No. I have something more important for you to do. I want you to go into the desert.
The Fremen?
I'm getting reports of hundreds, perhaps thousands, in villages, what they call sieges. In the deep desert. Beyond the mountains.
The Harkonnens knew that the desert people hunted them for sport. I doubt they'll expect any better from us.
Then we have to change that. We're going to need allies here, Duncan. I want you to seek out their leader, this Liet I keep hearing about.
The Phantom. He may not even exist. Could even be many different men.
Find out. Negotiate patience, so I can demonstrate our good intentions with deeds. If I'm lucky, they will judge all of us by you.
You honor me, sir.
I'm endangering you, and I know it. But you're the only one I can trust with this.
Such a dusty little garrison town.
A testament to the harsh climate of the place.
What's he doing?
Water cellar, my lady. You need never bother with the likes of them. The cistern at the palace holds 50,000 gallons, and it's always kept full.
What's wrong with their eyes?
Those are Fremen, desert people. It's the spice. It's everywhere. The air, the food. By the time a Fremen child is 12, his eyes have turned completely blue.
Have to live like this on Caladan.
Family apartments are in the West Wing now that you're here and having the furniture brought up.
What is this for?
An old custom, I'm told. Guests ceremoniously splash water on the floor after washing their hands. They say for squeezings.
Demeaning custom.
Idaho is prepared for us well, my lord.
Duncan? Where is Duncan? Can I see him?
I have him occupied on official business for the moment. You have to be patient.
I've assembled the general staff as you requested.
No, don't take it up there. I want the coat of arms to hang here. First thing visitors must see. This is House Atreides now. Ya malu walak maharkanan. Aldik ladume tankia.
From now on, we speak the ladies' language at all times.
The shutout Mapes, my lady, head of household staff.
Mapes, show Milady our apartments, make sure she has everything she needs. I'll join you after the briefing.
This way, milady.
Come, Paul. The men are waiting.
Me? Right now?
It's time you participated.
I've had the girls sand scrub these walls to within a millimeter of their frames. The Harkonnen stench is finally gone. Built by off-worlders many years ago. A chapel for the memories of what they left behind when they came here.
Thousand people could survive a year on the water it takes to keep this place a month.
And a Harkonnen never let us forget it, milady.
Your name, Shadout. It means well dipper, doesn't it?
I was raised in the desert Sietches, nobleborn.
Refer to me as my lady, Mapes. I am not nobleborn. I am the bound concubine of the Duke.
There is no wife?
I'm his only companion. The mother of his son.
You are Bene Gesserit?
Yes, I know the ancient tongues. Misseses pregia. Andral terebra. Tell the people, Mapes. This place belongs to them now. As long as we rule here, the Atreides family will keep it in trust for them. Stay there. Give them back their money. Go on.
It is the custom, my lady.
This custom stops now. Do as I said. Do as I said. Water will never again be sold at the Atreides door. At the end of every meal, any person who calls at this door may receive a full cup, free.
Is it possible? Could it be possible that she brings the Mahdi?
The thing must take its course.
What about the mining accounts?
The Harkonnen spice operation took 10 billion Solaris out of here every year.
Now, does anyone here still think that the Harkonnen have just packed up and left? Gurney, I want you to make contact with the smugglers operating in the deep desert. Tell them that we'll ignore what they're doing from now on, as long as they make it worth our while.
The Emperor is extremely jealous of his spice profits, my lord. It's one thing to turn a blind eye to smugglers. It's quite another to pocket some of their earnings.
Well, then just tell him what we're doing. Bank the entire amount to his name, Shaddam IV, but then deduct it from our taxes as a legitimate expense. In other words, cost of doing business. What?
I would just love to see the Baron's face when he hears of this.
All the Harkonnen parasites who got rich taking smuggler bribes will be flushed into the open.
No more graft. The Emperor cannot deny this. Not in public, anyhow. Well done, lad. Well done.
Now,
An emperor's daughter must do better.
Worthy to be your firstborn, hmm?
They tell me her ambitions tend more to the literary than the political.
Never underestimate the political uses of an awakened mind, Majesty. Subterfuge and cunning are often better allies than a fierce heart and a strong back.
All she lacks is the primacy of our gender.
Then you must marry her well. Someone with a suitably pliable personality.
Too bad it won't be that young Atreides. The most admirable lad, I'm told. Good union of breeding and training. We must arrange to send Duke Leto a token of our love. He must continue to think of us fondly.
Why did we come here, Father? And don't just tell me it's a matter of honor or duty. There's more to it, isn't there?
I've never lied to you, son. We've been entrusted with the most profitable commodity in the universe. That alone makes us many enemies.
Then why don't we call them out? Expose them. In front of the Emperor.
What if he's one of them? This is a hard lesson, son. In the world we live in, self-interest governs all. The Emperor needs us, for the moment, to administer Arrakis, to make the spice flow. But he fears us, Paul. He fears my influence among the great houses. If he decides it's in his interests that House Atreides should fall, he will do nothing to stop it. He might even invite opportunity to hasten it.
Well, then, if you're right, this place is a trap.
Perhaps. But knowing there's a trap is the first step in evading it. Should have taken the House Atreides renegade. Fled to the darkest corners of the universe.
You're too honorable for that, my love.
No. I'm too fed up. This endless feud stops here.
The Harkonnen are a rogue clan later. No matter how much prestige they try to buy, they'll never have the respect you've earned.
Respect can't buy his peace. I'd trade it all for a place somewhere. Anywhere where we could be alone, where Paul could be safe. All I had to think about was your happiness. Maybe then I could finally make...
Please, don't talk about things that can't be. You belong to your time. I was bred to my destiny. Even if I were able to go back and choose, I would change nothing.
One of yours, Turok.
Harkonnen mercenaries.
Someone is signaling from the palace.
Save your strength for the desert, Atreides. Word has already been sent to the palace. We have people among you.
Are they trustworthy?
They are Fremen. I'll take care of these.
I didn't mean to intrude.
Forgive me, milady, I was enjoying the morning. For a moment, I could imagine my wife walking there. My silk conditioning is supposed to rid me of such unstable emotions as hope. Still, it's all I have left.
We have spies everywhere, Dr. Yui. If she's still alive, we'll find her.
Seems almost a sacrilege. Wasting one's water in a land starved for it.
Well, I'm sorry we dragged you here to this dangerous place.
I came willingly, my lady.
Only half the sand crawlers are operable, but we'll have most of the ornithopters working soon. That is a harvester factory. We have about 1,000. As big as she is, there are worms in the deep desert could swallow one of these whole.
Why don't we use shields?
Shields are useless in the desert. Even a simple body shield will call every worm within 100 kilometers. Drives them into a killing frenzy.
The Imperial Ecologist, my lord, Dr. Kind.
We prefer the traditional term, planetologist.
I understand that we have you to thank for our still suits.
I hope they fit well. This is basically a high-efficiency filter and heat exchange system. The skin layer is porous. Perspiration passes through heat filaments and salt precipitators. Water is reclaimed in catch pockets, which you can draw from this tube. Properly adjusted, water loss is kept under 15 milliliters a day.
That's hardly measurable.
That's the point.
You're a Fremen.
I am accepted in both siege and village, but I am in the Emperor's employ. You've worn a still suit before.
This is the first time.
Someone adjusted it for you?
No, it just seemed the right way to put it on, that's all.
Well then, the desert awaits. Maintain 120 degrees southeast, my lord. That's where the Sandmaster is concentrating his equipment.
How many men are there on a mining crew?
As few as possible. Mining is a perilous adventure at best, my lords.
Has anyone ever been lost out this far and survived?
Men have walked out of the near zones by crossing the rock areas where worms seldom go.
Fremen?
Fremen.
There it is.
That's the harvester.
And those are the scouts?
Yes. Watching for worm sign.
Worm sign?
Wherever there is spice, there are worms.
Always?
They defend the spice sands.
Has there been an effort to wipe them out?
Too much area to cover. Too many worms. A rich field by the look of the color.
Is that worm sign?
Where's the carry-on to evacuate the harvester?
Worm sign, approximately 40 kilometers. He's got you.
They always cut it this close?
It is Not standard procedure. The carrier should be here by now.
How many men on that harvester?
Usually 23, my lord.
Are we sure the worm will attack?
No doubt about it.
Crew on the harvester, this is Duke Leto Atreides. We are coming in to take you out. Seize operations and prepare for evacuation. Spotters, land to the west, prepare to be boarded.
Most spotters can only carry 4 men in addition to the crew, my lord.
We can only get another 2 in here.
Paul, you and Gurney get to work on the back seats. We'll jettison them when we land. That'll get in 3 more.
This is Harvester Delta Ajax Niner. With all due respect, sir, we have almost the full load.
In the spice, we can always get more. Now prepare for evac, that's an order.
Worm sighting. 10 degrees southwest. Estimated speed 40 knots. Rapid approach. Worm intercepted. 5 minutes.
This is a direct command from your Duke. Seize operations and evacuate the station immediately, or I will cut your ship in 2 with a laser gun.
I can hear it. The worm. I can hear it coming.
Over here! Over here! 5 of you, over here! The rest of the spotters! Run, you Sandok! Run! Run! Run!
Get down! Get down and hang on to anything you can!
What are they doing?
My lord, we must go now! Hurry! Hurry!
Capacity overload.
We need altitude. Or it'll suck us down.
Capacity overload. Capacity exceeds lift capability. Capacity exceeds lift capability.
Bless the Maker and his water. Bless his coming and his going. May his passage cleanse the world. May he keep the world for his people.
What about the men we left behind?
Gurney sent a ship to search for them.
But they was right beside the worm when it
Send a ship anyway.
When God ordains a man's time to die, he directs that man to the proper place.
What?
Paul, I want the pilot from that missing carry-all delivered to me personally. Someone is going to pay for that waste.
This is a different kind of man. He risked his life and that of his son to save the men instead of the spies. A leader like that could have commanded fanatic loyalty.
This is my legacy to you, son. Greatest wealth in the universe and the never-ending struggle to defend it.
The ancients used to say danger and opportunity were often the same thing, Father.
This is not one of Yui's academic exercises, Paul. In Caladan, we ruled by air and sea. But here, we need desert power. Desert power. Remember that.
Is growing more popular with every passing week. He has ruined our system of bribes and patronage. He's been able to maintain the spice quota, despite our sabotage. And even the mongrel ecologist Kynes is sending the Emperor favorable reports.
And what do you deduce from all of this, nephew?
The longer we wait, the harder it will be to dislodge him.
Tighter. Try again, will you?
Leto's continued success makes the other great houses nervous, Raban. We can hear whispers, petty jealousies that could easily give birth to considerable envy.
Bugger envy! We have a traitor among them. I say strike now!
The slave is quite a specimen this time, don't you think, Raban? Perhaps Fade shouldn't be quite so casual today.
Yes. Perhaps my dear brother might even break a sweat today.
What you fail to understand is that I want Leto to become popular. I want him to feel secure. I want him to feel confident. Confidence breeds distraction. And that is when one is most vulnerable.
Little is known about the giant sandworms that inhabit the desert regions of Arrakis. It is known that worms are drawn to the vibration and noise of mining activity. However, there is no direct evidence linking desert worms to spice production.
Needs a new dew collector.
Dew collector?
Chromoplastic. At night it cools very fast. In the morning, daylight heats it. The surface condenses moisture out of the air, and it trickles down to keep the plants alive. A simple beauty.
A meaningless beauty. In such a God-forsaken place.
We deal here with the law of the minimum. Unless we learn to live with it, conditions can never change.
Are you saying that conditions here could change? Favorable conditions? To change the ecology of the planet?
That depends.
On what?
On who the steward of the desert is. Perhaps one day the person will come who will understand, who will see the future and know what can be. The one who will change Arrakis. The Mahdi.
You asked me to inquire about the shouting the other day. The words they were calling out at your shuttle.
Mahdi, something like that?
It means Messiah. They have a legend here, a prophecy, that a leader will come to them from off-world. A boy, the only son of a Bene Gesserit, to guide them to true freedom.
Messiah? Paul?
These are a simple people, my lord. They survive on hope.
Tell me about the waters of your homeland, Morty.
I'm sorry, my lord. Mavis didn't tell me you were in here.
No, wait. It's fine. I was tired. Fell asleep. You can go on about your work. Tell me. Do the cooks use much spice in our food?
The spice is everywhere on Arrakis, my lord. Everywhere.
Don't move. Just do exactly as I say. It's a hunter-seeker. It will kill you. Instantly, if you move. Listen to me. The operator, wherever he is, can only target movement. You're lucky to be alive.
I was its target?
It goes toward movement, that's all.
Takalam Hawat, Nal! You could have let it go and saved yourself. There is a traitor among you. Someone close. Someone very close.
I want him alive!
Hey, you!
They tried to take the life of my son!
He looks local.
There's nothing to identify him.
Harkonnen, surely. And not working alone.
Stop it, both of you!
Burn him. Everything except the hands. Put some spice in each one and send them to the Baron on Katie Prime. You almost took the life of my son.
Initiative. You decided to show some initiative.
Success is often, sire, in the bedroom of failure, Uncle.
How poetic. Well then, perhaps you'd be so kind as to define success. The subtlety of your plan eludes me so far.
The boy still lives. But from now on with fear. He and his father now know how close we can get to them.
Yes. Now they certainly do.
Your evening spice treatment, my lord. Must finish it all. Health and long life are the gifts of the spice.
Now get out. Get out, all of you! Out! You simple ass. I told you that I wanted those bastard Atreides to feel secure, but no! You couldn't wait. You had to have your own way, and now your initiative has made them more defensive. Now what, Piter?
Advancing our timetable would seem appropriate at this point.
Another blinding burst of insight. How is it that I am blessed with such extraordinary counselors as these?
There is, of course, the slight troop transport problem. Our negotiations with the Spacing Guild are not yet concluded.
Damn the Guild and their navigators.
Even the Emperor cannot move without the blessing of the Spacing Guild, dear Baron.
And what would you suggest my most devious mentat?
Offer an increase in spice royalties, payable in advance from Raban's own reserve.
You're out of your mind, you.
Get on with it, Piter. We must try and turn this setback to our advantage. Perhaps your incompetence will prove useful after all. And hasten the day House Atreides must fall.
You're tired, Father.
Yes, I am tired. The degeneration of the great houses has worn me out.
Our house hasn't degenerated.
Hasn't it? Your assassin didn't arrive here without help.
Who could you suspect?
I can only suspect. I can't prove, and there's suspicion enough to go around.
It can't be Gurney.
He knew your assassin would be more valuable alive.
Gurney's impulsive, Father. He doesn't have that kind of cunning.
Or Yui's intelligence.
Surely not Yui. His suit conditioning would drive him mad first.
Never let sentiment cloud your judgment, son. There is someone. Sooner or later, you must face whoever it is.
So this is how it works. They sow the seeds of distrust and get us to fear each other.
Learn this lesson well, son. If you want to hold Arrakis, you must be prepared to fight fear with fear. Fear and power.
That's our cue. The man in silver is a stillsuit manufacturer in Carthag, inferior product to the Fremens. The hard-faced woman next to him runs an escort service in Arsund. Impressive client list, I'm told. By the fireplace, Lingar Butte, water shipper from the polar region. The man to his right...
Spacing Guild representative, how could I miss him?
The man with Tufa is Esmar Tuek, smuggler, highly successful. He has fast ships, if we need them.
My lady, my lord, I was honored by the invitation.
You are always welcome here, Dr. Kynes.
We found the missing carry-on, my lord. Hijacked by Harkonnen agents who tried to sell it at a smuggler's camp. They are now dead.
We are indebted to you, sir. Excuse me, my lord. My lady will see to it you have everything you need.
It will be my pleasure.
And my honor, my lady.
I understand they lost another harvester to a worm.
If they keep this up, they won't even be able to have enough money to buy water.
Gentlemen and ladies, Her Royal Majesty, Princess Gurulan Korinov.
Your Highness, your attendance is a most welcome delight.
My father sends you his enduring respect and affection, my Lord Duke. The Emperor wishes everyone to know of the confidence he has in House Atreides.
She brings the Emperor's Sardaukar killers as her bodyguards. Water customs here are so fascinating, don't you think, Your Highness?
When I arrived, my bathing towels were hurried away almost before I was dry. To save their squeezings, I assume.
Safe assumption.
Nothing about this place is fascinating. If it weren't for the spice, no one would bother about it at all.
Fortunately enough, for a water seller like you, I would guess. I enjoy watching the flight of birds here on Arrakis. Many exist without any water at all. Carrion eaters, you know. Blood drinkers. A curious adaptation, don't you think?
You mean they are cannibals?
I said they drink blood. Not necessarily the blood of their own kind. Why not? One's fiercest competition comes from one's own kind. They eat from the same bowl. It's said that Fremen drink the blood of their dead. Isn't that so, Dr. Kynes?
Not the blood, sir. All of a man's water. A necessity when one lives in the deep desert. The human body is 70% water. Surely a dead man no longer requires it.
At least here is honest merrymaking.
Careful, lad. That spice beer can go to your head before you know it.
Play, Gurney. Let's you and I at least have some peace.
When the son of my beloved Duke orders me to relax, then by God I intend to do so.
Is that how you really feel, Gurney man? About my father? Beloved?
You young pup. If I didn't know better, I would take those words for an accusation.
It was a simple question.
Your father rescued me from an Arkan slave pit, boy. Took me into his household, grew me as his war master. The man or woman that raises a hand against them will have it cut off by me as a prelude to their death.
I'm ashamed of myself doubting you, Gurney man.
That's enough, lad. No more of this.
Gentlemen and ladies, I use the terms loosely, of course. I, the Baron Harkonnen, have decided that the great seal of our venerable house, that confused and ugly chimera, the Griffin, no longer adequately represents the ambition of our appetites. Therefore, and henceforth, in conclusion and forevermore, ergo and etc., our ample and royal self, from this day forth and throughout the universe, we shall no longer be known as House Harkonnen. We shall be House Hog.
Now I know why they say your skill with a knife is exceeded only by your mastery of the Baliset, Gurney Haddock. Is it Atreides' custom to abandon an honored guest without even the courtesy of a lame excuse?
Forgive me, Your Highness. Careful. Spice beer can go to your head before you know it.
So I've noticed. You were expecting someone more delicate, perhaps?
Refined was the word I had in mind, actually.
There's an ancient saying I've learned to trust. Never judge a book by its cover. We're not all that different, Paul Atreides. You and me.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I've heard all about the moody Paul, the grim Paul, The angry and unhappy Paul who has been exiled to Arrakis, where, poor boy, one day he will inherit responsibility for the greatest treasure in the universe.
And a never-ending struggle to defend it.
We both suffer the solitude of our birthright.
Except that tomorrow, you'll return to the comfort of your palaces on Kaitane.
To the confinement of its perfect gardens and lonely apartments.
To your servants and entourage.
With their slavish flattery and cautious conversation.
As an heir to an emperor.
Who damns my mother for bearing daughters instead of sons.
You're mocking me.
No. I'm trying to interest you. Are you going to dance with me, or just stand there looking confused? I didn't want to come here, you know. Being an ornament of my father's diplomacy is hardly my idea of a good time. But you turned out to be more complicated than your reputation. And I like complicated.
We've been looking for you, Highness.
So now you found me.
Have you been hurt?
Be still, Captain.
The princess has been under my protection.
Oh, please.
Gurney, hold.
Stand down, Captain.
Gurney.
I said stand down, Captain.
It's late, Highness. The shuttle awaits.
I am not ready to go.
Your father left strict orders.
You see?
Perhaps we should be the adults here. Set an example for our hot-tempered friends.
You are more interesting than you appear, Paul Atreides. I hope this won't be our last encounter. My father will no doubt reward you for such mindless obedience, Captain.
Duncan?
Forgive the abrupt arrival, my lord. But we've taken a force of Harkonnen infiltrators. The Fremen found them in the cave of the Shield Mountains. One of the Fremen, Turok, was badly wounded. I rushed him here for treatment.
But he has died.
This is Stilgar, my lord, leader of Turok's tribe.
We've heard many things in the desert about Leto Atreides.
I hope what you've heard will be the beginning of a friendship between us.
My people have suffered long under the rule of such as you.
No, not such as me, nor any of my family. All that changed when the House Atreides came to Arrakis.
Duncan?
Paul. Paul.
Stilgar, this is my son, Paul Atreides.
Yes. We have heard about him as well.
The Fremen want me to remain with them, my lord.
He fights well. And he's done his best for our friend. It will reassure us.
Dual allegiance, my lord, to you and to their tribe.
There is a precedent. Liet serves two masters.
Let it be known among your people, Stilgar, that Duke Leto Atreides honors the sacrifice that your warrior has made on our behalf. I wish nothing but peace between us.
Thank you for the gift of your body's water, Stilgar. And accept it in the spirit with which it was given.
Duncan, Idaho. Your water now belongs to us. The body of our friend Turok remains with your Duke. His water now belongs to the Atreides. That is the bond between us.
Please, you must come to bed. You have to rest.
Not yet. Caladan, I had everything an honest man could want. The loyalty of my people, the respect of my men, the unconditional love of the woman I adore, and my son.
You still have these, love. And more. More than you know.
Is he ready, my love? Paul, is he strong enough to withstand what's coming?
I don't understand.
This noble seal may come to mean many evil things before the game is over.
Please. Don't frighten me later. You're the light of my world. My peace. My comfort. Let me be yours. Even if only for a moment.
Mapes? Mapes, who did this? Who?
Traitor.
Oh.
Guard. Dead. Shields. The shields.
God forgive me. I had no choice. Why? Because I need to save my wife. Much time. The Harkonnen will be in the palace soon. I'm giving you the final revenge, my lord. For this terrible thing I've done to you and your family. You will have your revenge, my lord, I promise. Just remember. The truth. The truth, my lord. When you have the Baron face to face, remember the truth.
An Emperor Sardaukar.
The Duke! Where is the Duke? Not in quarters, sir. We can't find the young master either.
No prisoners. So, as soon as the city is pacified, Piter, remove all of the Sardaukar troops to our frigate. No trace of the Emperor's involvement must ever be found here. Piter!
A pity she has to remain gagged. She has such a magnificent mouth.
A pretty mouth with the sting of a scorpion. We know all about your Bene Gesserit witchery, my dear. Perhaps I should cut your vocal cords, and then Piter could have his way with you. But then again, perhaps not. No blood on my hands. I have no idea what happened to you. So when I see the Emperor's wrinkled old bitch of a Trusair, I suppose I'll just have to say, dunno.
Into the desert. Let the worms clean up the mess. The bodies must never be found.
He looks sufficiently paralyzed.
My half of the bargain, Baron. I promised you the Duke. There he is.
Oh, and it's a delicious sight, Doctor.
Now it's time for your half.
And believe it or not, I'm a man of my word.
Where is she? You promised we'd be reunited. You said you'd free her if I did what you asked. Well, I've done it. So where is she?
Your wife is free, my good doctor. Completely free. Free of her mortal coil. Free of her physical cage. I freed her. I promised you'd be reunited, and I'm a man of my word. As now you can see.
You think you've defeated me?
Never trust a traitor, not even one you create. Well, my noble Duke, are you enjoying the show? I hope so. I kept you alive so you could witness every precious moment of your betrayal. What? Oh, the boy. I don't know how to leave him to the desert. He and that gorgeous woman of yours. My men left them to explore the beauty of the sands of Arrakis. Perhaps they'll see some worms. We couldn't have all that noble blood all over our hands, now could we? Well, the Emperor was quite insistent about that. Oh, yes. Your beloved Emperor. Just goes to show, never get more popular than the boss. Unless you intend to sack him. Did I say that? How impolitic of me. I must be spending too much time with that idiot nephew of mine, Raban. Still, you won't say anything, will you, my dear man?
Perhaps we should get on with it, then.
Get on with it! This is Canley! Piter! Vendetta! And I am going to savor every minute of it. My family has hated the Atreides for generations. They have been the sand in our eyes, the stink at our meals. These arrogant Atreides, always standing in our way. I want Leto to appreciate the beauty of what I've done to him. I want him to know that I, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, am the instrument of his family's demise, the extinction of House Atreides and the ascendance of House Harkonnen. What did he say?
Two.
What did he say, Piter?
Girl.
Oh, need you more proof of what heaven's choice is? Atreides is dead, and Harkonnen lives!
He's dead. Father's dead.
What are you doing?
We won't survive longer than a few hours in the open. We have to find shelter.
But Harkonnen patrols. Worms.
We have to take our chances.
one of ours.
Can't take the chance. Could be Harkonnen. Come to finish the job.
Hurry! Harkonnen patrol ships are in the area, approaching fast.
Strap in! What is this place?
A Fremen siege. A small one. There's a storm coming. We can stay here until it passes.
Yet. We must talk.
Rest here.
How did you know where to find us?
Dr. Yui sent a courier. Said you were being taken to the bled south of the mountain shield. My lord. I'm supposed to give you this.
Harkonnen patrols are in the area. They tracked our Thopter.
They called you Liet. You're the one, aren't you? The one who's never seen, the one who may not even exist at all. Their leader.
I prefer the term guide to leader.
Guiding them?
Until Mahdi comes.
My lord.
You're coming with us?
No.
They'll kill you.
Me? I'm Dr. Kynes. I work for the Emperor, you remember? I'll just say I was your hostage.
My lord, please.
I must remain with the Fremen, my lord. As I promised your father.
Just hold on.
Can't lose them. Paul, the storm. We can't go into that.
We have no choice.
Nothing survives one of those storms.
Unless they want to die, they won't follow us in, will they? You must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. No one fears my fear. I will let it pass through me. When the
fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain.
There is a legend that the night House Atreides lost Arrakis, a star exploded in the skies above their homeland on Caladan. But the saga of Dune was far from over.